everybody. Melissa here with Spirit. We're out here in a really beautiful home in Sacramento today, and we're just going to do some documentation, figure some stuff out. Part of this is to help our client get a little validation on energy, perhaps around herself, but also validate some of the energy of the space that she resides. It's sort of a dual purpose type of experience this evening. We're going to use a little bit of the equipment depending on what we encounter, what we think we need, and then give a little light blessing or maybe a heavier blessing also depending on what we feel and what we find. We know very little about the house so far, but we did get just a brief history sort of synopsis that couldn't be ignored. Unfortunately, you walk up to the place, there's no way to hide it. There's a giant fire pole in the house. So that's not something you can wrap up and just be like, oh, that's not here. So this location did have a history of being a fire station and several other uses in the past. It's an older home. So it definitely is going to have a voice, an echo from the past. That's something we're not going to be able to avoid. We want to make sure that it's positive energy here, it's loving energy here, and also any energy that may be around our client is also positive and means her well and is helpful to her. I'm feeling one of the souls is already getting me kind of in the chest. They're kind of grabbing me in the chest a little bit, so something maybe they suffered from in life. They're giving me the throat and the chest area. There's an older male. He's got to be in his 90s, 80s or 90s. He's an old fart. Pretty damn stubborn, as a matter of fact. He's just kind of wandering around. He's just like, I'm observing. He's like a strong, silent observer at present. Maybe he will get comfortable with me and talk to me. Maybe he won't. I will try to talk to him because he does seem interesting. He does seem like a wise, interesting soul. There's also an older woman, probably in her 80s, that's kind of just gently humming and like kind of just sweetly singing in the background. She's very, very soft and just a light background energy, but I keep hearing this gentle, melodious humming from her. She seems kind of like interested in just making stuff in the kitchen. She's kind of tinkering around and moving things around. I can see her very comfortably just putzing around and having a good little time. She seems like a neat, sweet little gal. I'd like to talk to her more if she's willing. And there's another gentleman who's probably in his 60s to 70s that I see in this space. And he's very... he's got a regimented vibe about him. So, you know, military, law enforcement, first responder, that type of vibration. He knows how he likes things, where he wants things. But he's a good guy. He's a protector. He's a nice soul. He's maybe a little sassy in some of his own ways, but he seems like a nice enough guy, helpful guy. And I keep seeing children running around, and I don't know where they're coming from. I don't know if they belong to the property or if they're like peripheral energy, but I keep seeing like almost running like through, like just like running through the space like really fast. There's barking. Why do I hear barking? Something is barking at me. So I don't know where that, I mean, with a place this old, I'm probably going to get a lot of cross-talk from a lot of different layers and of time frames.
Big dog, little dog?
Kind of like a 40, 50-pound dog. Okay. So I really want to narrow these souls down because they're all kind of slightly jumping forward, but then kind of pulling back and then jumping forward. It's a little bit of a push and pull with them.
Not a Dalmatian, is it?
No. No, it seems like almost like a sort of a yellow dog.
Huh, interesting.
Some sort of yellow dog. There's a smaller brown one with it. There's a bigger yellow one and a smaller brown one. They seem to, I don't know if they are on the same timeline though. I'm not quite sure about that. But they found each other now, but they might possibly be from two different timelines. So what I'm kind of just feeling in the space overall before we do the walkthrough, I just feel electrical. I feel like electrical pulses going through my feet and into my hands. the house feels like it breathes, like it literally, like you can hear the house. You would hear the house breathe. I think the house gives a lot of auditory phenomenon, knocking, moving, walking, footsteps, talking. It's a vocal and auditory type of place. There's some people may see like a shadow out of the corner of your eye. Somebody just kind of like off in the corner, and you look, and then they're gone. Those are some of the things that they're kind of showing me so far. I'm really fascinated with the full walkthrough that we're going to do, what that will show us, because there seems to be a multitude of layers happening. And then with our client, thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
I really feel like you have a deeper sense, like a gut instinct thing going on, like an inner wisdom, inner compass, and all like you just know it, you feel it, you know it about people, places, things, and it's almost like this house called to you and drew you in. Like you're like, I'm home. And so I'm wondering if maybe you didn't have a connection to it somewhere, like in a past something's going on with the house calling to you, and you were the one to bring it back to life. And so I think the house kind of loves you for that, which is a good thing. But they keep saying something in your bedroom, something about your bedroom. They keep drawing my attention to your bedroom. So I'm definitely gonna want to see that, because they keep saying something's happening in there, and we need to kind of figure that out.
I'd appreciate that.
Yeah. But this is a nice house, you know, but there's an undercurrent. There's something that the house isn't telling me yet, and I'm not quite sure what it is. And sometimes it takes a while for the house to give up its secrets. Sometimes we have to break out half the equipment before it's willing to play ball with us. But hopefully between our walkthrough and our meters and all of that, we'll get to the bottom of your energy field and the energy field of the house, and see why they do seem to be so interwoven, interconnected. But I would say you absolutely have some sort of like either clairvoyant or empathic thing going on. Like you just feel things in your bones. Is kind of how they're telling me, you know, which I think is a good thing.
I hope they're nice ones.
I hope they are too. I mean, so far the ones that I felt coming forward seem to be pleasant. I haven't felt anyone really negative yet, but sometimes the negative ones hide from me. But so far it feels like the house is just much happier. Like the house has shed a lot of tears over time, and I feel like the house has a lot of joy now, and should continue to have that. So I'd say we can do a walkthrough through the whole space, and you can just take us on a little bit of a walk, and we'll just browse through every room and
Okay.
see what we feel.
Alrighty.
All right.
I'm ready.
Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Abdomen. There's some stomach pain with one of them. Some sort of digestive disorder. Something's definitely weird in the abdominal cavity of one of these souls.
Just
Be prepared. It's not only the Boy Scout motto, but it's also a good motto for ghost hunters. You need to be prepared. You never know what you're going to encounter.
that's right.
That's
awesome though.
Yeah, it is awesome. This is really neat. I just wanted to kind of touch it to, you know, the whole psychometry angle.
Yeah.
It's interesting. It makes me feel dizzy. I feel really dizzy. There's an overweight gentleman, a little bit overweight, not bad, but like, you know, just a little overweight. I almost feel like he's like Scottish or Irish or, you know, something like that. He's a little bit, just like I said, a little bit bulky, broad shoulders, kind of a deep, deep voice. He's got some facial hair going on. And this is an interesting gentleman. He does seem attached to the property. And his eyes seem sort of like hazel colored.
Yeah.
I feel like he may be brunette. Yeah, the back of the gut pain, a lot of gut pain. Might have been diabetic, something with, because I'm getting like pancreas type of pain with him. Something with the blood sugar with this guy. Doesn't seem
right upstairs and put the lights on before we go up
Oh,
there.
good.
Yeah, that works for me. That pole said a lot.
It's something else, isn't
Yeah. Whole experience with
it?
that.
She's really paying homage to the history too.
Yeah, I
You see that,
like that a lot. And that makes the house happy. Very, very happy.
It's going to be freezing because these doors are shut.
Oh, it's okay. And
Cocktail.
these were the main doors, the truck doors that the trucks would leave out of when it was a firehouse.
Yeah. And I think she said it was a firehouse, what, to like the
36, I think she said.
mid-30s, like
Something like
35,
that,
yeah, so. Interesting. What a unique space. There's layers of this house everywhere. It just goes on and on and on. It's amazing. Wow.
I also duplexed the property. So
Oh, okay.
on the other side of the room over there,
Mhm.
which is an addition that the Boy Scouts had put on,
Mm-hmm.
I ended up duplexing it, and I
Okay.
have someone who lives on the other side.
So we will not go down out that door.
Well, that's
then.
my garage.
Oh, okay.
But we can, and we could go over there too if you want. She said.
Well, I mean, yeah. Well, if they're open to it, I just don't want to like mess with anybody else's energy. You know?
Right, right.
Upset their apple cart. So I do see that older woman in here, and she's just humming. She seems very pleasant, just very sweet and melodic, and helping out and kind of cleaning up, and a little shorter statured woman. Show me anything you want to show me. Just show me all yours. Just anything. The cheeks are rosy, curly, kind of wavy hair. She's got a real pretty necklace that she's wearing, but she's very simple. It's very simple. Made do with what she had. Got by with what, you know. Well, I think a little post-depression age, so maybe born in like the 30s, give or take. Very able to like just get by with like what supplies she had. Very resourceful, creative. Yeah, I like her. She's neat. She's a fun little gal. The house just goes into all kinds of weird little spaces. These nooks and these crannies. And
I love places like this.
going around and around.
Yeah.
Around. Is this your space? Mm-hmm. Okay. It's a nice room. They definitely wanted me in here because I think they walk through here. I literally think like I hear like a little like walking through the space. They're just like, we're not trying to bother anybody. We gotta go somewhere. I'm like, where are you going? And then like wake up with a start. Like just it's like a just sudden moment of like, and then there's nothing there. Is how I feel about it. Just like this moment of I really think that you have to be picking up on them on some level. You have to be either seeing them or hearing them. You've got to be experiencing them.
Are they the ones that wake me up in the middle of the night? But all my friends wake up in the middle of the night.
Well, no, I mean, this is purposeful. They're not meaning to annoy you. It's like sort of accidental. But because you're just a little more receptive, like you feel the energy shift in your space, and I think it's what alerts you and wakes you, and then you kind of pop up and you're like, oh, everything's fine, and then right back to sleep. It's like that's the vision that I'm getting, because I'm also seeing them come and like sit down on the side of the bed and just and kind of just sort of sweet little protective, like checking up on you sort of thing, like, oh, okay, she's fine, and then like they go and look at the rest of the house. It's a very interesting sensation. One of the there's another male soul, and I can't. Who is he? Who are you? Hello. Who are you? Something with the throat and the neck and the head. This whole region of the body is something's wrong with that. This other male, he's got something going on right there. I don't know what this is. Can't breathe though. It's very suffocating. Maybe a little trauma-based death of some kind, or maybe trauma in life and then died and a little annoyed and pissed off about being dead and that kind of thing going on with him. Yeah. He's okay now, but he's didn't like.
Are you sure it's a man?
Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, no. Either a butch type of female or a, or an effeminate male. It's yeah, but somebody with the throat and a traumatic death. I just can't breathe, and it's not good. It's not good, whatever it is. But because what I'm seeing is like either shorter hair or really tight, pulled back hair, and so that's why it feels masculine to me.
Yeah.
But it could go either way. I mean, on the other side, we kind of shed everything, and I seem to shadow, silhouette, and energy. So when they give me a feeling about themselves, I go off of what I feel about them, but it definitely could be either or. But this was a traumatic death. This was probably an intentional, self-inflicted death. You got to give me a little more. Just if you're gonna show it to me, you got to be honest with me. You just got to give me the stuff. You don't withhold who you are, or what you are, your gender, your age. Give me a little bit more. They should be older now, obviously. There's a gap. There's a little bit of a gap in the time of death, and okay, so keep showing me. So ambiguous, so weird. What is with that? I can't see. They won't let me see them. You have to let me. Well, you don't have to, but I'd like you to let me see you. Just let me see you so I can understand who you are. What's your name? That's not fair. You don't push the games. Just give me what you want to give me. When they're sort of nervous and embarrassed about their passing, they can really withhold. They're withholding a little bit. I'll work with you. You're not in trouble. You're not in trouble. A little addictive personality, maybe a little obsessive compulsive, but a nice soul. That there's a
You're
good.
walking this way, or you in the bathroom too?
I guess I could live in the bathroom. Yeah.
I don't know if that matters. I just wanted to know it was there.
Now, who in the hell has a fireplace in their bathroom?
That's awesome.
Now.
I mean, come on now. That's really cool, though. That's awesome.
Oh, my favorite kind of tub.
No clawfoot tub.
Yeah, I love those things.
It is. That's neat. You could really soak in that. So the throat and the breathing is even worse in here. It's even worse in here. And I still can't lock in on their face. And I can't lock in on a name, and I can't lock in fully on anything physical attribute. Like they're keeping me just so, just at a distance. They're like, I'll give you just so much, but that's all I'm giving you. They're really keeping me a distance, but the breathing is even worse. Eyes are beautiful. Eyes are absolutely enchanting. That's what's confusing me too. There's a lot of strong physical features, but then like the softness too. That's kind of like the eyes are soft and feminine, but like the jawline seems very tough and strong and like a little angry. Like it's very ambiguous. Giving me a hell of a time with this soul. The dead are fun. But I like nobody's making me feel uncomfortable though. Everyone seems polite. That's a fancy closet. Where does this go?
Just another closet. You can open it.
Jesus Christ, it goes in. Is there a window in the closet?
There is. We couldn't move the windows because of what the walls are made
That's
of.
awesome.
Oh.
So we
So-
had to build the house around
Right.
the doors and windows that were already there, even though it's not how we necessarily wanted to do it.
That's fascinating though. Huh?
And under here, it's a coat closet.
You got closets everywhere. Like you got
Well,
great
I
closets.
rebuilt the whole thing, so
Right.
Oh,
you know, can kind of do whatever I
all the
want.
cute little cute windows that just go. Okay. Are you touching? You didn't touch me.
No, I didn't.
I didn't do it.
Need 2 hands to hold a 10-pound camera.
Oh, they're interactive. Oh boy. Oh boy. They touched me. That's great. It was so gentle too. It was this here, come here, Brent. It was this light little I want to touch you.
Yeah.
Like right in the back of the neck, just kind of like a light little like whoop. Oh, that's weird. I might as well wander up the stairs then.
Sure. I love these old staircases like this too. Some midway landing. They're cool.
Sort of, hear ye, hear ye. A little bit of an announcement space. Oh.
So there were no stairs when I bought this.
Oh, I see.
How did people get up here?
It was like a trap door in the bedroom, right? It was an attic, and that's it.
Oh,
So
that's interesting.
Hmm.
So you converted the whole attic space to.
converted the entire house, every inch of it.
Yeah.
You did a good job. A very good job.
That's a closet, like storage.
Oh, look at all those
stuff.
pretty decorations.
Christmas Eve.
I like decorations.
Yeah.
So, obviously, being is that it's converted, it's not how they would recognize it, but souls could still access the space, and especially if it was attic space.
So it was like a guest bedroom then?
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm getting severe left knee pain. It feels like something's almost like hitting my left knee. A lot of stomach pain and my knee hurts. It's like this has got to be some spirit's pain. I don't know what spirit, but some, you know, the sort of Scottish Irish sort of looking fella that I saw downstairs by the fire pole. I think this might be his pain. I think he had a knee injury. Something in his line of work. When you're downstairs, do you hear creaking up here?
No,
Good. There's a lot less.
it doesn't.
Floor.
It's new.
Yeah, this is much.
It's
softer
a new
too.
floor
Okay.
completely,
Mhm.
and more padded.
Yeah,
too.
so it's not gonna do what the
It
bottom
wouldn't be
floor does.
right as likely to hear anything.
Yeah.
I guess that's good, so you don't get creeped out.
Right.
A lot of rooms.
That other soul keeps following me. They're attached. Something, some item, or are connected to the space somehow. It really, if you're not going to talk to me, maybe you'll talk in the spirit box. Maybe you'll interact somewhere. I just don't know. I wish they would talk a little. They clearly want to interact.
Yeah.
They're just being cautious.
They rang the doorbell when I was
When you were
outside.
by you were out by the car and you weren't. We literally looked at the door thinking you were going to be standing right there.
Mm-hmm.
You were not standing right there. It was weird. Yeah, it feels very just quiet in here.
This is a nice office. Sort of a loft space.
Yeah, this is
I
cute.
like it.
Very, very quaint. Oh, more of the breathing. What is with the breathing? They're just literally hitting me hard with that. The soul feels so playful and fun and just fun. Just a sense of playfulness and wonder and positive energy. It's not negative at all. What else do you have to tell me? There's a lot of residual energy. I keep seeing walking back and forth here. I keep like front door and going that way, front door and going that way. There's tons of walking. They are busy. What they're doing, don't know. Yeah, I would think that we might be able to get some validation, maybe some SLS.
Yeah, there's a lot of space to cover here too.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. You have energy in this house. I'm gonna tell you, you definitely have some energy going on.
And tell me what that means.
Basically, I feel that the history of the space, the land, the house, that in and of itself is a living, breathing, almost organism. You know, the home has its own vibration, its own frequency. I feel a lot of the past probably revolves energetically through the, you might hear a little residual sound or residual foot or step or, that kind of thing, which is the history kind of replaying itself. There's a couple active spirits here, that some older people, but that other soul seems a little bit younger. And that traumatic death is really bothering me. I can't quite figure it out. Because I'm an empathic medium. So the way I see spirits and souls is I will feel things from them. I'm not like, hey, it's great Uncle Joe from 1872. That's not how I see them. I get this emotional conversation with them where they give me feelings of their personality, maybe something to do with their passing potentially, and they just kind of fill me with emotion. And so I have this conversation in the emotional sense with them. And that's kind of what I was having with that soul, is they were just speaking to me with how they felt. And so I was experiencing them on that level. Is it normal for your lights to blink?
What lights?
I just saw something blink back, a light flash. Is that normal?
Lights go off and on in here at times.
I
I have
see.
one bulb over my bar that might just be a little weird right now, but I have full-on lights that will go off and on.
So a couple of these souls, I think, because some of them are active, they're not all residual. Clearly, I did feel some that were, specifically interactive. They can manipulate your environment to just remind you that they're present, that they're here, that they're helping you out, that they're part of the equation, and they're just part of just because they left their meat suit doesn't mean they left your sort of soul web and your energy field. They're still around to,
How do you know they're helping me?
Because they're not holding you down and attacking you.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah. So
it's always a good thing on a Friday night.
Yeah, when you're not having any phenomena of being physically abused, scratched, punched, bruised, knocked down, you're not having those experiences, then they're here and on a positive level to bring a positive vibration to the space. Some of the residual energy, or even some of the active energy that's associated with the building but not you, they're also not harming you. You just leave them be. You know, they're not. I really feel like the sort of Celtic gentleman that I was feeling when I was touching the fire pole. I think he was attached to the history as a fire department. I think he has direct ties to that. And he doesn't seem to be hurting anybody. He just likes the space. So, you know what? Let him be. The younger soul that had the trauma, I'm positive that's connected to you somewhere. I don't quite know where, but it's definitely in your overall web somewhere. And possibly the older woman might be like a generational or ancestral or something connected to your lineage as well. So they're not bothering me. They're not making me feel uncomfortable. One of them just hit me though in the heart. So I'm thinking one of the older males, the heart was the manner of death. Because this was pretty sharp. It was like feels like almost like a widowmaker. He got hit right with a pop and drop. So, yeah, you've got, you're not imagining things. I mean, I guess, you know, I guess that's the good news, right?
Right.
You're not crazy.
Right. Or maybe, but not
well,
about this.
not about this.
That's right.
And then with your energy, I think we'll have to dive a little deeper with that because there's some stuff going on there that may even be necessary to be off camera stuff, possibly. I'm not positive about that, but I think it probably is better because I think that's a little deeper. And so we might want to deal with that too. But I would say that we should probably take some meters and document in some areas. Are there areas for you, besides what I felt, that are more active to you? Or is it just kind of just in general, you might get little feelings or little weird things happen kind of throughout the house? Is that
I do know where lights go off and on.
Okay. And we can check that to make sure it's not electrical.
I do know, I mean, recently, and this could simply be due to how it was hung. I had a very large picture come off the wall and just shatter.
Oh.
I wasn't here when it happened.
Okay.
Again, it's pretty heavy. It could have just worked its way. Yeah. I don't know. No one touched it. Okay. I'm the only one here. I just came in 2 days before Christmas and it was all over the ground.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, you'll have to show us where that was, and then we can kind of try to get a feel for it. Maybe even take some meters and see if there's any residual vibration or energy or something going on. But yeah, I mean, it could have been as simple as a little mild tremor of the house or the earth, and it just kind of jiggled it off. I mean, yeah. So it's not always paranormal, but sometimes it is, you know. Right. So you do want to be sure.
It's a pretty solid house. I mean, it's
it is.
It's blocks on the outside,
good,
so I
don't
don't think it shakes too much.
Yeah, it's very stout home and a beautiful home. Thank you. You've done a great job with it. So yeah, we'd definitely like to see that. We basically just want to validate any areas that you feel kind of weird about. As far as anything that I have felt over the course of the time I've been here, do you feel like some stuff resonates to you, or you get kind of an idea, or it sort of jives with your own experiences that you've had in the house, or anything that you felt?
I think it's hard because I don't, except for the last folks that I bought the house from, I don't know the history of others. I know the uses of the house, and what could have happened here and there, but I don't, I've seen just more things like lights going off and on. I have had someone say they saw an apparition upstairs.
Okay, so that would make sense.
I've never seen anything like that.
And different people are going to experience it differently, so yeah, that would make sense.
So I'm more like, I could just tell you certain areas. I think it can be a creaky house, but these are very old floors, back toward my bedroom, etc. So I don't know.
If you're not walking around though, there shouldn't be any creaking.
Right.
Theoretically. And if there is, you might want to ask some questions. So.
Exactly.
And that's what I'm saying. I think that the house breathes. I think it has its own vibration. I think that some of the souls that have come before you simply still kind of tootle around the house and make little noises. And again, they're not trying to be harmful. They're not trying to be destructive. They're not trying to bother or hurt you. They love the space too, just like you do. So I think that you can come to some agreement with them and some harmony as long as they're still polite to you and they respect you being in the space and you're respectful to the history and the energy of the house. I don't see why there can't be a good balance. Like, to me, it seems like you probably already have a lot of that harmony going on. It just knowing for sure there's nothing wonky is
Right.
good peace of mind. Really good peace of mind. So maybe we'll take out some meters and we can kind of go to some of those, a couple of those hot spots, you know, where the thing, you know, where the picture fell, maybe a couple of the lights that get a little blinky on you, and just see if there's any good explanation for why that happens. And then we'll go a little deeper with some of the extra equipment.
Okay.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Very good.
Let's do.
I want to take a look at that picture behind you. I don't know if any of those would look familiar to you.
This gentleman right here, I don't know why.
Second one from the right.
Yeah, that one right there. He seems to energetically stand out for me. So I'm not really sure. But his energy kind of, I don't know, speaks a little bit. Weird. All I can say is just weird. But it's such a nice house. That's the thing. Yeah, there's energy, but the house is so nice. It's like, it's polite. It's polite energy. Well, let's get some meters.